Of course, number one, with large agencies where substantial investment is deployed, you have a higher level of security that the company will always be there. And of course, large companies are far more reputation sensitive than smaller companies. So if you come with a complaint, the management will have to listen to you, otherwise it will be a scandal in the market, especially with today's social media. Number two, in Dubai you have about 1,500 real estate companies, out of which you probably have 10 companies that have above 60 agents or above even 50 agents. Why? Because it's very difficult to establish a strong internal governance, a strong SOP that guarantees the sustainability and the growth of the company. What this means, again, to you as a client, when you deal with a larger agency, you are ensuring that you're dealing with a well-structured team. Basically, there's a rigid process of hiring, there's rigid process of qualifying employees, of training employees, there's an onboarding process, there are so many things, there's sales progression departments. So basically, when you deal with a small agency that does probably 3 or 4 or 5 transactions, they will never be able to afford to have a sales progression department. The actual agent will probably be doing Form F, the sales form for you, for a property that's worth 2 or 3 million dirhams. And that's highly risky, because in case you go into a legal conflict with the second party, with the other party, you're gonna find so many probably spelling mistakes and so many other mistakes in the contract, because it was not drafted by a professional. It was not drafted by a dedicated person, someone who's been trained to do contracts. Number 3 is the most important point, and I use this approach actually if I'm buying anything, especially when it comes to a substantial investment. Whoever did it the most will know it best. Because they practiced it the most, you know. So I don't want to deal with someone who's trying today. They might turn out to be amazing, but they might turn out to be the opposite of that. So if I'm dealing with an agency that has been doing business for the past decade or for the past, I don't know, number of years, I am at least guaranteeing that I'm dealing with someone who knows exactly what they're doing. If I'm dealing with a large agency, it means I'm most likely to be dealing with well-trained and well-qualified employees. Of course, no one is perfect. Large agency is not perfect and small agency is not perfect. But in my opinion, there are so many reasons that makes me deal and prefer to deal with larger agencies. Of course, also as a client, whether you're a seller or a buyer or a landlord trying to get someone to manage the property, it's always best to have a well-reputed company, a well-reputed brand, a brand that has value in the market, to represent you as a buyer or a seller, or to represent your property in the market, because that will always add value. Today, in our daily experience, we get tenants who actually ask who's managing the property. So tenants who want to rent properties, they want to understand who's managing the property, because if the property manager is a reputable company, is a company that has basically a track record of property management, it always adds value and it always gives this particular property an edge over other properties available on the market.